Hey guys, another video today. I just wanted to review a couple AVAX staking dapps that just came out today. It seems like all of a sudden these came out of the woodwork. It started with AVAX Staker. Multi-network is now releasing theirs. I'll leave a link to that one. I did a video about that one yesterday, and now these two just came out today. And with these, I'm going to review them kind of like normal, add a few things that we're going to check, and then also I'm going to we're going to discuss the risk scores as soon as we go over these, and a few changes that I did to the risk scores based on the feedback from you guys. So let's get into this one. AVAXFury, I've done videos on both BNB Fury and Matic Fury, so this is exactly the same dApp, just on AVAX. So this is, and I think there's a couple typos in here that I verified in the contract. I'll point those out. But this is, if you're aware of those dApps, it's the same thing, just AVAX. They just switched out the coins, changed some colors. They're all the same, honestly. But yeah, this one just launched today and it's kind of gone crazy. Over 4.8 thousand already staked. I don't think it's not even 12 hours old yet. I do like that they have the insurance pool. I'm kind of torn because honestly, they're just taking some out of the contract and sticking it in another place. So once it leaves from the contract, it's going to bring it in from their insurance pool. So whether it's just sitting in the contract or not, this is where it talked about it's an audited smart contract. It's verified by Hayes. Just kind of the stuff going on here. The one that's the typo, I think it's more for other chains that they either didn't change it or have a typo here, is max 1 or 10,000 AVAX. Price of AVAX right now is sitting around, hovering between 70 and 75 US dollars per AVAX. So 10,000 is quite a bit. But I actually verified it's actually, I think it's 100. We'll look at the audit soon and check that out. I wish that they'd put the balance on one of these because it's kind of redundant. Claimed rewards, same thing. Use that space for the balance. And also the staked volume. I don't know why they have to keep putting it on there. Again, restrictions, that typo again, 10,000 AVAX. It'll just say what's in your wallet, how many active plans you have, how many referrals you have, how much you staked, claimed. I do like they have the deposit history here. You can actually see what people are putting into. And I really love these sliders. You can really customize, your staking time frame there. Minimum of 0.1 to stake. Referral program, I think that level 1's kind of high. I just don't like seeing them so high. I understand why they're just trying to get people to refer people to keep bringing more in, but when that's so high, that takes a couple percent from the balance. So it's kind of a balance, and I think these creeping up is not a good thing overall. So just something to be aware of. Kind of standard where you get your link. Whenever I look at these dApps, whenever I go to any of these sites, one of the first things I do, in the browser, I click, make sure this got a certificate and it's valid. If it says something like issued by self-signed cert, I would never touch this. I wouldn't interact with my wallet with it. I wouldn't do anything with it. That means that they just basically created their own certificate. It's not actually a certificate by a third party. So just something I always check on all of the dApps that I review. Let's go ahead, and when I look at the audit, I also like to go to verified projects and make sure I'm on Hayes Crypto, and I actually see it in their list. Make sure it's actually on the list. They're not, spoofing this. They don't have some kind of different URL or something like that. So we can run through the audit. I mean, we've seen these all so many times. This one's high risk. Dividends are paid from deposits of others. Basically this plan hits zero. You don't get anything. It talks about your returns. This is just blah, blah, blah. I don't want to spend too much time reading the audits. I want to make sure there's no issues here, and we can kind of see some of the details in here. And you can look at the dividends and see how they're paid out, how much they're paid out. You can only withdraw every 6 hours, things like that. I always look at the invest fee. 10% is kind of standard in the middle of the road. I still think it's a little high. I mean, that means every time somebody invests, the owners get 10% of it, which is, incredibly high. But nothing really you can do about that. But just be aware if those go up. It's every time you put something in, it's got to go somewhere, and more that's coming out for fees or referrals is less that's going to be in that balance to pay out returns, which means it'll either it'll die sooner, or it'll take more investment to keep it going, which is ups its risk a little bit. They detail everything, all the returns that you could get from all the plans from day 1 to day 24. Just be aware when you do withdrawals from these, all the Fury ones, these are pretty standard. 10% will be reinvested for you automatically. 10% will be sent to the insurance contract, and 80% will be sent to the user. So you're going to get 80% of whatever it says there. And then that second contract, it's just going to be used in case the main contract goes down. But honestly, if you're putting money in, these things don't generate more value. They're just basically shifting around. So I like the idea of the insurance system, but don't think that's like a separate fund that's created out of nowhere. It's got to come from somewhere. So just be aware of that. So that's the audit. Let's go ahead and look at the contract. Like I said, there's 4,200 now staked. We've kind of gone over these. The code is almost identical to B&B Fury, Manic Fury. So just be aware of that. Exactly the same stuff. The only difference is how much you can take out, and that's where that typo's on the front end. That's the max withdrawal that you can take out. It's not 10,000, it's 100. We kind of I've reviewed this stuff before. It sets up all its plans, has the invest function, claims. I'm just looking for something that might be a little different, but I'm not seeing anything. It's all kind of standard. I mentioned that I like the dividers between the functions. It makes it a little more readable, but pretty standard stuff. So that looks fine. That's AVAXFury. It's kind of similar to all the other dapps they did. So we can discuss that in a second. This next one is called AVAX Saving. And I was surprised when I opened it because this is all it is. There's not much here, honestly. I don't like this because there's no real direction for the user. They say 18, they just say your rewards. I want to know, hey, is there any taxes? Is there any, what fees are taken out? What's going to happen when I do this? If I withdraw, am I going to get everything back? Or is there going to be a 20% fee when I withdraw, or something like that? I want to know those things and put it on the front end. Also, they only have Discord and Twitter. They don't have a Telegram group. I think they just want to kind of keep it very simple. But also, with these ROI dapps, you're really putting a lot of trust in the developers. And when they don't have, all this information, they don't have, easily accessible community that you can just pop in and say, hey, what's going on? That's somewhat concerning. So be aware of that. I think we already looked at the certificate on this, but we'll just double check. Yeah, it's issued by Cloudflare, so that's a third party. The front end's pretty simple. It's got your balance. It doesn't have the contract balance, and then it's got referral stats, and then your investment. And you basically go down here and pick 10, 15, or 20 days. And this is one of those, I think it would be wiser to do, 10 days if you're going to do this, because you get higher daily rewards and you can just keep compounding it in, if you want to go to 20 days. It gives you kind of that middle exit point. So, it's pretty simple to do, but it's, Let's go ahead and look at the audit. We looked on the last one, but we'll just double check that we see it on the actual site, the hazecrypto.net site, and it's listed there. So this one, I'm expecting this one's going to be a little different because I don't think it's a clone of something else. It looks kind of custom on the front end anyway, so I'll be watching out for any code problems there, especially since this loop on the dynamic variable is set. Of course, it's going to have the high issue because it's an ROI. It's Ponzi-nomics, so. So all the dividends, when you hit withdraw, that's when everything's calculated and you get it out. It's not going to calculate all the time. It's only when you withdraw. Our standard project owner fee of 10%. It's different investment plans, and 0.1 AVAX is minimum. Referral system, I still think that's still high, but So that's the audit. That's the one thing I'd be watching for. I'm assuming they just didn't put any checks on the 100 parallel deposits, but we can double check that. Contract, it's been going up today. I think if it passes that 50,000-60,000 value, that's probably what I'll probably put in. If it passes out in the first 24 hours, I'll likely jump into that. Let's see, just some, I don't think this dApp's very big because it's so kind of simple. So it's only got a few variables it sets here: minimum, the referral stuff, project fee of 10%, divider, and I think you can. Don't get me wrong, I don't know if you can withdraw. I don't think you can withdraw every day. That doesn't really say much. Let's look at the white paper. Oh, yep, it will let you claim anytime. So it looks like you can Withdraw anytime you want as it builds. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this reserve funds is. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, it says 1% to the team, 2% for marketing giveaways, 7% is reserve funds. I'd be wary about that because there's no real documentation, it looks like. I don't know. Documentation is pretty sparse on this, so just be careful of that. Let's just dig through the code. Staking, referrals. Claim your rewards. Yeah, I'm just making sure we don't have any weird loops going on. Here's one. Okay, that's just adding. So yeah, it just returns that total amount. Okay, so that doesn't create new deposits. Sorry guys, really boring stuff going through code, but I just want to, when you use these, you can see that somebody actually looked through it to look for any kind of gotchas. There's another one. It adds the amount to those. It's okay. And the safe math library is pretty standard in all these. Yeah, so this is pretty simple. I don't know. That reserve thing's kind of weird because there's no real documentation on it, and anything that doesn't have documentation, and a white paper this small. Yeah, it talks about the funding, the referral program. I mean, this is the whole documentation for everything. I think I'd like to have more explanation around things, but okay. Anyway, let's go back to our risk score. I'm going to be doing these on every single one now, based on some feedback, just so when people look at these, they can see that we scored them right from the beginning. So here we're going to add sorry, I'm having to type around my cable. Risk, AVAXFury, the balance went up pretty quickly today. It says on its first day, because of that healthy balance right away. It's probably a little lower than average, so I'm going to guess 4. Profit, these things, they have an average lifespan of, we can look here. The average life is 21 days so far out of these, what is it now, 7 dapps. So I mean, here's the thing, if you drag that out to 21 days, you get, it says 236, but you only get 80% of that. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like groundbreaking. It's probably going to be kind of in the middle of the road with these dapps. So it's not like crazy high. Sustainability, that's one that I don't know yet. So I tend to go kind of middle of the road until I know, but because the balance is up there pretty high, it's looking okay. But for now, we'll put it there. Of course, it was born today. stick that down there. It's not even a day old yet. And I added this new column called transparent. Do they put the balance on the front end? Does it look like they're trying to hide something? And anybody that doesn't put the balance on the front end, I always give them a 0, because it's like they're trying to make people go into the contract to see the balance. Especially on these AVAX ones, it's just odd that they would, have this stuff twice, the total stake, the total claimed rewards twice, when they obviously have space to put the balance there. But so let's copy our score. We need to make sure we stick the right one in there. I think it's our lifespan here, it needs to be changed. So yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty high score. I think it's mainly because it has, life and days is there. Let me double check, make sure everything looks okay. Yeah. So yeah, if the risk goes up on these, this changes the number quite a bit. It's going to bring it down. Sustainability, if it comes down, it's going to come down. But I think there's something going on with the math here. I'm not sure if it's because I don't have. Yeah. We'll just we'll just call it put a day in there. So yeah, I think that's a little more realistic. I need to fix my formula on that, but because it's really young, it's super early. That balance is going up. I think rate's pretty high. And the other dapps, honestly, the BNB and the AVAXFury have been doing really well. So just be aware of those. Let's stick another row in here. We'll do AVAX Saving. Risk, I think because that balance isn't up there very much, I'm going to increase the risk on this one. Profit. I don't know, 18% for 10 days, or even, you could expand that up to 20 days. It's pretty decent. I think I'd go with a 6. Sustainability, I'm still not sure yet. It depends on what happens. I think I'll go a little bit lower. Of course, it was born today. And we're just gonna put 1 in there for now. I need to fix my formula. Transparent, I don't know. Yeah, that's a big goose egg on that one. There's no balance on the front end. There's scarce documentation. Just be wary of that. We just need to fix this number here. Yeah, that brings it up to a 32. Basically, this life and days, that thing is a really big factor. Of course it is. It's very important to get in on these early. So yeah, that's kind of my review on those two. And with that, while we're on this page, I just want to give an update. We had another one die today. I almost feel like mourning them, but yeah, Phantom 1, it lasts 18 days. So we've got our average lifespan of 21 days. So just remember, when you jump into these, think twice before moving that thing up to 28 days or something. You got to be careful about what. Sorry, I just wanted to fix this. You just got to be very careful about when you jump into these, because they can. It's a huge factor. So Also, just to point out, Matic FOMO, its balance has been dropping a bit. I'm making a video. They said in 10 days that they'd have something to be able to do the force withdraw. I'm doing some testing on the contract to see if that's actually possible. I just worry that if that happens, there's going to be a huge run on that thing and it'll just die within hours. I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know if it's even going to work. I might try it on my account and see what it does. Anyway, that is the review on AVAXFury and AVAX Saving. I'm trying to make this like a lot more transparent, do the risk scoring in the very beginning. These did launch earlier today. I was doing a lot of, thinking about how I could score these and how I could do these new ones that don't have the balance. And thanks for your comments on the last video. So I'll just keep doing these, but I'm going to make sure that information kind of dings the score of the ones that don't have those. And yeah, anyway, let me know if you have any questions. If you have any of the other suggestions of things you'd like to see reviewed, or any other dapps. There is another Matic one coming out in a few days. I'll review that later today, and I'll also do an update either today or tomorrow on the Matic, or the multi-network, or multi-Matic as most people know it. The new FTM, the Phantom and AVAC staking there as it launches. So anyway, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so. Like the video if you liked it, and we'll see you on the next one.